A new September moon event? Let's begin. Welcome back to another episode, guys. Let's talk about what we're getting this week. This week, we don't seem to be getting that much, at least not that they've announced. We might be getting Goatman added to rank mode. I wasn't really sure if he would go to rank mode last week or if he'd go this week, but since he wasn't added last week, he will be added to rank mode this week, most probably. It's also possible that he'll be added to entertainment mode, such as dual hunter mode, terror mode, but not completely sure about this one. He's a very interesting hunter, meaning that he might not interact very well in those kind of game modes, so we have yet to tell. Something that we're getting on September 9th, that's technically not this week, but it's on Monday from next week, so essentially before the next episode for this video kind of series that we do, we'll be getting an Identity 5 and Facemoji collaboration. It's not going to happen in Identity 5, but actually in the Facemoji keyboard app. This crossover we've had before already. We talked about it maybe a month or so ago, where they kind of did a mini crossover where you'd be able to get stickers, I think, for Identity 5 in the Facemoji keyboard app. But now they're going to give us more, as we talked about. They actually did mention that they're going to do a bigger collaboration later on, and we're getting Postman's Autumn Reverie themed content added to the Facemoji keyboard app, including phone wallpapers, chat backgrounds that I guess you can add to maybe like WhatsApp or Telegram backgrounds or whatever you use. Postman Autumn Reverie keyboard, of course, that has kind of the background with that picture, some icons and stuff like that. Not really too familiar with Facemoji overall, and once again, as I mentioned the previous time, make sure you do your research around which keyboards you use. You really want to make sure that you're trusting which keyboard apps you are using so they don't keep your data. As far as I know, that's all we're getting this week, so let's talk about what we're getting from the future. On September 12th, we'll be getting a new event that I think is mostly just a moon event returned. They've just renamed it into something else. It's called the Fabled Night Under the Silver Moon. In this event, that we don't really know too many details about of what we have to do in this event, if you participate, you'll be able to receive different rewards, including a Seer B tier skin called Moon Narrator, a portrait frame themed around the skin, of course, and a B tier accessory called Regulating Wheel. It's a weird looking disc thing. Nothing really super special, as this only is a moon event or whatever you want to call it, but we do get quite a lot of Seer B tier skins for these types of events. It's kind of interesting. This event will also bring back a ton of content to the store, including Disciple's S tier skin called A Visitor to Ulthar, that I believe is like the Egyptian themed skin, and the accessory that goes along with that called Chime, that is an A tier. And you'll also be able to buy the Dr. S tier skin Firefly and the S tier accessory that matches it called Glowing Feather. Also in the store, but also the event store and maybe even the Remnant store, you'll be able to purchase Postman's B tier skin called Autumn Uniform. In those stores, you can purchase it for either echoes, fragments, or even remnants. So those kind of weird currency things that we've talked about in a video recently where I talked about all of the currencies. You can upgrade this skin with 580 echoes to the A tier version of the skin called Autumn Reverie, and you can switch back if you want to without, I think, having to spend any money or back and forth. And in the event store, that could be the store in the event, but could also be referenced to the Spyglass store, so I'm very unsure about this. NetEase does kind of use those words interchangeably sometimes. That makes things a little bit confusing, but anyway, in the event store, we should be getting some returning content, including the B tier moon themed skins that we've had from previous moon themed events. So that includes a skin for Dream Witch, Perfumer, Explorer, Prisoner, Naiad, and Weeping Clown that have this blue-white kind of theme to them. We'll also get access to Postman's A tier accessory called Titan Windmill, the B tier accessory for Ripper called Osmanthus Branch, the B tier Survivor accessory called Lotus Lamp, the B tier Hunter accessory called Moon Rabbit Effigy, and the B tier pet for survivors called Moon Rabbit. Quite a nice little rabbit if you want it. I do think it's a very good one to have. Another update that we'll be getting on September 12th is possibly the new package update. So this is possibly the big update for the game that they've been promising us for quite a few months now, where it's going to give us better optimization for the game, possibly better ping performance and stuff like that. Some people have asked if it's going to bring down the size of the game, but no, it should more or less remain roughly the same in size, gigabyte size on mobile and on PC, as I assume they might only be referencing mobile here, not really sure, but it should bring some performance improvements along with some optimizations for older characters. Not really sure what it means by optimizations, maybe the appearance of what they look like and maybe not their kind of abilities or anything like that, but it possibly will include optimizations for Doctor, Lawyer, Thief, Gardener, and Hellember. I'm hoping they'll kind of get an aesthetic update because that'd be really, really cool. And if you log in on September 12th, because you can't play the game unless you update the game. They've made that sure and clarified in the post. But if you log in after this update, you'll get 10 memory spheres for free as a reward. Really nice. Just recently, NetEase answered a ton of questions in their Q&A that they usually do every month, and they gave us tons of information. I'll just be giving you guys some of the ones that stood out to me, but of course on the screen you'll be able to read through all of them. So next season's logic path will be for Postman, so that's going to be an A tier for him. Next season's rank rewards will be for Feaster, Psychologist, and Patient. I assume that means that Feaster should be getting the S tier accessory, so because they usually put the first one being the S tier and the other ones will be A tiers. Starting next season, more clues will be available in the logic path in some of the gaps that are empty. Halloween will bring back the previous Halloween accessories and will also bring back the Nocturnal Escape game mode that we've had for 2 years in a row now, and in previous years they kind of added to it and could have gave us that ghost mode, I think it was last year. So maybe they'll give us an extra update to it, maybe some interesting parts, or maybe they'll kind of make the map change a little bit more, because I really would like that to be the case. Optimizations for Persona 5 skins will be coming in part 2. There are possible adjustments coming for Puppeteer and also possibly for Weeping Clown, more possible on the side of Puppeteer as they're still monitoring Weeping Clown by the looks of it. There are some fixes in the work for match queue waiting times that, yes, please, it takes so long to get matches sometimes. Not really sure what they're going to do, but I think they also don't really know what they're doing. They're just going to work out some ideas. I hope they don't add more bot matches, because their last update just gave more bot matches to everyone, and I really hate that. They also mentioned possible copycat adjustments. I don't really know too much about copycat, so I don't really want to say what those changes are. You can read them on the screen because they don't really mean anything to me. But if you really enjoy the game mode, there's possibly some adjustments coming to it if you read that. Yay! And now, since you see that video on the screen right now, you should probably click it, because that's going to give you some more IDV content from me.